Good morning everyone and welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Flicks on Dead Meat. Today we're checking out the kill count for the 1983 movie Psycho 2. Let's hop in and see how many bodies will dug onto the list this time. No idea if that's even close to right, but let's just go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James H.
Hey,
Neese,
James
and today
Neese.
we're looking at Psycho 2, released in 1983. The original Psycho was a cultural phenomenon, but nobody ever
23
asked for a
years
sequel.
later.
Unlike today, where box office success is almost an automatic green light for a follow-up, movies used to be mostly standalone, outside of the Universal Monsters, of course. Those guys were always getting up to stuff. But
Yeah.
once the 80s kicked in, horror sequels
A
were
lot of crossovers for them.
shown to be successful as they gave audiences more of what they wanted. Slashers had also become a major subgenre. While Psycho was a forebearer and Black Christmas quietly made the blueprint in 1974, it was Halloween in 78 that really set off a brush fire of imitators.
Oh,
Against
it
this
truly
backdrop,
was.
the novel Psycho 2 was published in 1982, written by Robert Bloch, who
Hold on, I'm sorry. If you're gonna make a sequel of a book, would it really be called 2? I'm sorry, I'm just not used to that. And I was expecting more of like Psycho, subtitle.
had written the original back in '59. Psycho 2, the
But
book,
no,
was a
okay.
critique of Hollywood slashers, which reportedly upset Universal, who owned the rights to the Psycho film. They decided to make their own Psycho 2, a movie that would have nothing in common with Bloch's book, even though they knew people would be skeptical and ready to hate it.
I think it's always risky when you set out to sequelize a picture that people remember with affection.
Initially planned as a
I could see
made-for-TV
that.
movie, that changed thanks to a script by Tom Holland. No, not that one. I'm talking about the one who would later make Fright Night and the OG Child's Play. His script
Oh,
was so
shit,
good,
that's awesome.
Anthony Perkins agreed to return as Norman Bates. Once that happened, it was promoted to a theatrical release. And it deserves it.
Hell
Psycho
yeah.
2 is unexpectedly pretty great. It takes place 22 years after the first film, the same amount of time
22 years later? Damn.
that had passed in real life. Norman Bates is released from the mental institution and attempts to build a normal life, but he's quickly haunted by visions of his mother as bodies begin to pile up all around him. Psycho 2 has a
smell.
clear reverence for the first film, with many minor details acknowledged and maintained. It's maybe a little too heavy with the callbacks, a problem that plagues the whole series, but that's easily forgiven thanks to a great story, an all-star crew, and a talented cast, especially Perkins as a very sympathetic Norman Bates.
The
It also
great
has a bunch
people.
of surprisingly violent kills,
Ooh.
probably an attempt to fit in with its contemporaries. But despite the additional gore, the movie never feels cheap or
That is a bloody toilet.
sleazy, which is more than I could say about Psycho 3, although
Oh,
that
wow.
one is still fun. How many murders? Hey, Mom, I'm so sorry. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I'm not falling
we're doing
for it
this again?
Norman. You might have everyone else fooled, but I know your game. I know you just want me to talk about today's sponsor, ZocDoc. Norman!
James?
Oh, shit, look at that.
James? I was just calling to catch up.
Well, look at that. The one thing I asked him to do last video, he actually did. That's incredible.
How many murders
of course,
will
it
we
has
find
nothing to
with
do with
bated
me.
breath in this homicidal homecoming? Let's find out and get to the kills.
Let's go.
The movie begins in the shower with Janet Leigh. Not a bad place to be. In fact, we get a whole refresh of the shower scene from Psycho, just in case you forgot about it. I mean, it's only the shower scene from Psycho. It plays out the same way
It
as
all
the
plays
1,000
again?
times we've seen it before, but I ain't double counting Marion. Classic kill or not, she was already counted. Things go from black and white and dead all over to living color with a bright
Ooh.
red title card. The opening
That was
credits are
pretty
done
good.
to a re-recording of Bernard Herrmann's score by this movie's composer Jerry Goldsmith. He's the man behind the music in The Omen, Gremlins, The Mummy 99, and so much more. It's been 22
Wow.
years, but now Norman is declared normal in a court of law and released from the insane asylum. That don't sit
You are clinically sane to be released.
right with Lila Crane, played by Vera Miles, reprising her role from the original.
It's all too obvious. Our courts protect the criminals, not their victims.
Oh, she's gonna go post about this on Nextdoor for show. She's actually Lila Loomis now. Turns out she married Marion's boyfriend Sam after the events of the first film. Ain't no better meet cute than solving your sister's murder.
I mean, it's also been 22 years. Well, technically 23 years.
Norman was found not guilty of that murder because he was just too crazy. But now he's fine, so might as well take him back to the motel where he did it and the house where he dressed up like his dead mom. And
Actually, hold on, it's been 22 years. Wouldn't this place have been, like, bought by the government or county or something, demolished, and then either resold or have something else built, though?
his dead mom's body.
He
That'll
should have
keep him
nothing.
grounded. Norman's release would have felt pretty salient. Just a year prior, John Hinckley had faced trial for trying to assassinate Ronald Reagan, but was found not guilty by reason of insanity. It was a controversial verdict that a producer of Psycho
boy.
2 mentioned in some interviews.
I think it has a great deal of statements to make about a theme that's very relevant today, the insanity plea problem.
Norman's afraid to go
Insanity
inside the
plea,
house since
of
he
course.
swears he just saw someone in the upstairs window. But no one's lived here for years, according to Norman's psychiatrist, Dr. Raymond. He's happy for Norman's
It's
Independence Day, even if the situation isn't optimal.
I just wish there hadn't been all those cutbacks. There'd be a trained social worker to look in on you from time to time.
Again, timely commentary here. Upon taking office in '81, Reagan drastically cut federal funding for mental health services, which led to mass releases of patients from institutions.
Oh,
Inside the house,
crap.
Norman gets hit by memories of Mommy Theorist, seeing notes she's written and even hearing her voice again.
Norman.
Yeah, that'll give you vertigo. He sees his
Oh,
reflection,
nope.
looking like he did when Norman was still Norboy, with the young Norman played by a young Osgood Perkins. Anthony Son, of course,
Oh.
who'd go on to act and then make plenty of horror films himself. The whole Mama
That's
Drama
cool.
Theater is pretty intense right off the bat.
Gonna kill you.
But enough of all that, it's time for Norm to get to work. He has a job assisting the cook at a diner in town.
Oh, well,
Probably
that's
the
not
one he
bad.
mentioned to Marion back in the first movie.
Well, there's a big diner about 10 miles up the road.
An older waitress named Emma Spool vouched for him to get the job, believing that everyone deserves a second chance.
I think it's very Christian to forgive and forget, don't you?
I sure do.
Another waitress named Mary
That is very
distracted
Christian.
with boy problems, but Norman covers for her when she's blamed for breaking a dish. Good thing he
Oh.
did.
I've been
Hi.
working there 4 days and I've broken a dozen dishes already.
Girl, that is literally 3 plates a day. What you doing, spinning them on sticks? Norman's nice towards Mary, maybe because he thinks she's a
Good joke. Good joke.
dish herself. She's played by a 23-year-old Meg Tilly, who apparently didn't have a great time. She said at one point she walked off set after being yelled at by the director. She's Jennifer Tilly's sister and appeared as herself in the Chucky TV series, which, yes,
Oh,
I'll get
hey.
to seasons 2 and 3 someday. Jamie Lee Curtis was discussed for the role of Mary, but she didn't want to do yet another horror movie and risk getting typecast. Mary's been kicked out of her
Typecast.
apartment by her
Sorry.
boyfriend, so Norman offers her a free room at the motel. An incoming storm convinces her to take the offer, and by the time they reach the motel, it's pouring, just like it was during Marion's fateful stop.
Oh,
This time,
my,
though,
my,
Norman
my.
doesn't put the pretty young woman in cabin 1, despite considering it for a mo. He fights against his urges, and refuses to fall back on his homicidal habits and peeping tomfoolery.
Yeah,
As Norman
room
gets
7.
the room ready, Mary meets Warren Toomey, the current manager of the motel, and an all-around classic movie scumbag. He's been renting out rooms by the hour so guests can have premarital sex and do illegal drugs. Norman is disgusted. Back in his day, he kept these rooms clean of such filth. He fires Toomey on the
Surprisingly.
spot, earning him derision.
Mr. Wacko.
It's Psycho, actually. Dude yells about Norman's past while getting the movie title wrong a second time.
At least my customers have a good time. What'd yours get, Bates, huh? Murdered by you loony!
It's Psycho!
Come on.
Norman offers Mary a room in the house instead.
Wait, hold on. No, this movie was in Canada. Oh, no, wait, that would just make him a dollar.
Since the motel's been turned into a den of debauchery. She's not fully convinced by the idea, but I mean, how can you deny an offer of the house special?
Sandwiches and milk.
Norm sure knows what he
Sandwiches
likes.
and
Hey,
milk.
better sandwiches and milk than what's probably poison tea. Mary finds a knife and gives it to Norman to cut her sandwich for her. Girl, just do it yourself.
Yeah,
I already
come on.
made you the damn sandwich. But no, she gives it to him so he can space out and blind her with a reflection. Oh, and then he smushes her bread all this shit? Fucking yum. Mary
yep.
admits that another waitress told her about Norman's past, so she's hesitant to stay there with him.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to.
What if I
I'm
told you that I needed you to stay?
Well, that would make
Yep,
it worse,
nope,
my dude.
front door.
Especially after he fesses up to murder. Not the Marion one, the matricide.
When I was 12, my mother went mad. So I put some poison in her tea, you know? I'm all right now.
He admits that he's scared to stay in this house alone since he's haunted by the memories of his mother. I guess that wins Mary over,
Haunted.
even though, girl, you are not this man's therapy. She tries to help him all the same, storming into his mother's room to force him to face his past.
See? No ghosts.
Wait,
That
I'm
was
counting like
nothing.
3 in plain sight. And beyond the sheet ghosts, there's an
Oh.
homage to Hitchcock, who had passed away 3 years prior. You can see
Rest
a
in
silhouette in
peace.
shadow, similar to the silhouette he'd use in the show. Bedtime comes, and
Oh.
Mary's cautious enough to prop a chair against her door. In the belly of the beast indeed. The next day at the diner, Toomey shows up drunk, harassing Norman and Mary as he remembers what franchise he's in.
So what's it like?
What's what like?
Bunking with
Screwing
the
a
psycho.
Thank you!
Oh.
Finally. Norman finds another note from his mother among the order slips. It causes him to jump cut a little, knock over the flyers, and yell at Toomey. Oh shit, better clear the kids out, folks. Toomey eggs him on to grab a cake knife, wanting Norm to look bad and maybe also wanting to die.
Don't do
this
it.
dude's life. But Norman resists.
What's the matter? You lose your nerve, huh? Or do you only attack women?
Hey man, he killed Argababa too. The
Yeah,
diner owner,
he
Mr.
did.
Statler,
Don't
steps
forget
in
that.
and tells Toomey to leave. Norman tells him about the note and says Toomey probably wrote it to set him off, but the note's disappeared. So Mr. Statler tells Norman, you're fired.
You're tired.
Oh, sorry, tired. So he gives him the rest of the day off. That night, Norman's visited by the shadow of his mother, who ends up being Mary at the door. She asks to stay the night again because she couldn't find any other options. Also, she's impressed he didn't stab Toomey, because I guess the bar's in hell.
No, I don't have to kill people anymore, remember?
Mary says she needs a shower, which probably gets Norm real excited. Oh, and look at that. There's even a creep hole, so we can see this obvious body double for Meg Tilly.
That's not my body for sure. But she has nice breasts.
Body double or not, we've got full-on boobs in a Psycho movie. I bet Hitchcock was jealous from the grave. He did have nudity in his penultimate film, Frenzy. But is it Norman playing peekaboob? I don't know, because now he's downstairs playing Moonlight Sonata on the piano. Guy loves his Beethoven. Another detail calling back to the first film. Norman's having a nice time disassociating in the mirror when he hears a car honking. It's Toomey down at the motel. He's throwing shit around and yelling that Norm's a psycho. He's so proud he probably remembered the franchise name. Norman gets a phone call from someone claiming to be his mother, but Norman knows better than that.
My mother is dead.
Or is she? Because while Toomey is packing his suitcase to leave, an apparent Mrs. Bates slashes his face, then stabs him, sending Toomey to his tomb. You know, I've got to say, the psycho stabbing technique has always been wild to me. Like a huge downward arcing slash, just use the knife to stab. The next day, Dr. Raymond finds
straightforward.
Norman putting up a fresh coat of paint. He's quit his job at the diner and plans to manage the motel again. The original motel exterior had long been demolished, so they had to reconstruct it using old still photos and blueprints from the first film's production. 40 feet of motel facade were built, with the rest extended.
So, weirdly enough, I was kind of right.
Via map painting. Conversely,
well, outside of Universe, I was right. In Universe, no.
Original Psycho house was preserved and used on the Universal Studios tram tour. Wow, look at how empty this whole area was back in the 80s. Nowadays, you still see the Psycho house on the tour, but it's next to the torn up plane from War of the Worlds. The Psycho 2 crew did have to relocate the house, which is crazy to me that you can even do that. Talk about a mobile home. Up at the house, Mary's doing her makeup when she finds the shower peephole in the wall. That's gotta feel violating. Probably gives her a big chill. She comes down and meets Dr. Raymond, whom Norman fills in about the phone calls and notes he's been getting. The doc takes the matter to Sheriff John Hunt, who says he was the deputy back when Norman was first arrested. They're not sure who might be harassing Norman, but Raymond says there may be something about Mary, so the sheriff should look into her. Norman's still painting when his mellow yellow mood is ruined by the sight of a woman in his mother's bedroom. A woman who looks an awful lot like his mother. He goes to check it out and finds his mother's room looking like it did when she was alive. No more sheet ghosts. There's also a note sitting in some golden clasped hands on the vanity. It's a prop from the first film that was found sitting unused and forgotten in a Universal warehouse. Other original props found included some stuffed birds, the house's front door, and the 40-foot runner for the stairs. The note tells Norman to get rid of Mary or Mother will kill her. He decides to look for an intruder, exiting the room in the same kind of overhead shot that was used when he dressed as Mother and slashed at Arbaga. Since he's smarter than the Woodsboro police, he checks the attic, but he winds up locked inside like Corey Cunningham. Mrs. Bates hope he don't kick down that door and send her flying over the banister. We get a truly awesome shot to transition us out of the attic. It starts with Norman in the background before he walks into the foreground by the window. As the shot remains unbroken, the camera pans over the side of this 3-story house to see 2 teens way down below. Then, using the relatively new Luma crane, the camera swings down 40 feet to join them at ground level as they figure out a way to sneak inside. This is such a fun, ambitious shot, and exactly the kind of shit Hitchcock would do. Props to Australian director Richard Franklin, a devotee and friend of Hitchcock, and cinematographer Dean Cundy, who had just shot the first 3 Halloweens. It was the start of an insane career that includes the Back to the Future films, Jurassic Park, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. These teens are Kim and Josh, and they're here to do drugs and touch each other's junk. Nothing like some dirty bedroll weed in the basement of a murder house to get you in the mood. Things are getting pretty prurient when a stabbing
a murder house
granny arrives. Kim manages to escape, but a firewood fumble puts Josh in a jam. He gets stabbed to death with some shower scene-like editing. I like it. I also like the shower out of his hand on the glass as he falls out of sight. Mary gets home and finds Norman napping in the attic, only now the door's unlocked. Was it unlocked the whole time, or was someone gaslighting him?
Whoever's been pretending to be my mother.
He says whoever locked him in
Like
must have
someone's
unlocked the
definitely
door
broken
while
in.
he was asleep, and reset his mother's room, since they find everything in it covered again. The cops come by to investigate what Kim saw in the cellar.
Smoking dope, messing around. You know anything about that, Norman?
No, I was locked in the attic.
Since Kim says there was a murder in the
Somehow.
fruit cellar, the cops check it out, only to find it pristine, as preserved as the fruit stored there. The sheriff tells Mary Norman used to keep his mother's corpse down here, but she still provides an alibi, sticking up for him just like he did when she broke that diner dish. Lila
Oh,
Loomis goes
damn
to
it.
the police station, where Tom Holland cameos as a deputy. She asks
Oh,
the sheriff
awesome.
why Norman hasn't been arrested yet, but he says there's no proof he's done anything.
No
She
proof.
tells him to drag the swamp, since that's where they found her sister's body 20 years ago. Vera Miles was reluctant to return for a sequel, but like Perkins, was one
You know, I actually gotta wonder, how the hell would you drag the swamp? Or drag stuff out of the swamp? With some things I can understand you get a hook in it, like the fender or the car, and pull it out. But when it comes to something more organic, how would you do that? Just kind of like a large rake and make sure the claws are heavy so they actually drag?
over by the script. I love that she's still alive today. 95 years old. Hell yeah,
Hey,
Vera
congrats.
did it. John Gavin, who played Sam Loomis, was also asked to return, but was unable to since he had been appointed U.S. ambassador to Mexico by Reagan.
Damn.
Seriously, look it up. So instead, Lila mentions that her husband died some years ago, but since it happened off screen in between movies, he doesn't
We're not
go on
gonna
the
count
credit.
it.
We next see Lila at the Bates house ambushing Mary.
Why did you lie to the sheriff and say Bates was with you this afternoon?
Mother.
Oh, holy shit, what? You're telling me
Damn.
Lila is Mary's mother? This twist is freaking brilliant and really kicks the movie up a notch. It also makes Mary's
Wasn't
character
expecting that.
more believable. Why would this college-aged kid be hanging around with a 50-year-old murderer? Well, turns out she's been playing mother for her mother. Lila wants to gaslight Norman until he snaps and gets sent back to the institution. This twist was
Oh, you can't be serious. So Norman is actually innocent right now.
hinted at when we found out through Dr. Raymond that Mary's supposed surname was Samuels. That's the same fake last name Marion used when she signed in at the Bates Motel. But Mary feels bad now because she thinks Norman really is a changed man. And she knows he didn't kill that horny teen because he was locked in the attic. She's the
It
one who
was
locked him
her.
in there while she did the mommy bedroom de-makeover. But Lila doesn't care if the police get the wrong man, as long as the murder helps put Norman away. There's something wrong with the house's plumbing. The drain stopped burping.
Oh, damn it.
Shit, is Pennywise in town? The culprit's a bloody rag someone flushed down the toilet, and the sight of it's enough to make Norman start doubting his own innocence.
After I killed that kid in the cellar, I used it to clean up the mess.
Mary's quite contrary.
no,
and
no.
tells Norman he didn't do it. Knock that shit off. She sends him downstairs while she cleans the bathroom, which is when she catches someone eyewalling her. But it can't be Norman. He's downstairs making tea. So she grabs the world's tiniest gun from her purse and searches for the culprit.
Tiny.
Maybe recreate the peeper's actions, Mary. Put yourself in their mind space and figure out what... reverse Pete, which is
Ooh.
still Pete. It's a palindrome. Norman grabs
Yeah,
a knife
nope.
while Mary begins to
Peep is
suspect her
Pete.
mother is behind all of this. Because, well, yeah, duh, that makes sense. But Norman now suspects his mother. He thinks she somehow survived and is in the cellar, waiting to kill the both of them. Mary agrees to stay
What
over
the hell's
in same
going on?
room as him, because nothing lulls you to sleep like the sound of anxious pacing. She wakes up to Norman standing over her with a knife, but don't worry,
Ugh.
Mary. If you put his head in your bosom, he's got loads of compliments.
You smell like the toasted cheese sandwiches.
The next day, Dr. Raymond
Toasted
stops
cheese
by
sandwich.
the house and tells Norman the bad news. Mary is Lila Loomis's daughter, and they've
Oh.
been working together to drive him insane.
Why would they do that?
Because they hate you.
Yeah, almost as much
I
as
see
Raymond
now.
hates tailgaters. But Norman's still convinced it's his own dead mother doing all of this, which I'm sure his psychiatrist loves to hear. To convince Norman he's wrong, he takes him to the cemetery and
We'll
digs
show
up
you the
Mrs.
body.
Bates's bastard skelly. Wow, that is some
See?
exposure therapy. Mary meets with her mother and tells her to stop
gone.
storming Norman's mind.
Forever.
Lila confirms she is the one who's been calling Norman on the phone, but denies having anything to do with bloody towels or peeping through holes. She still wants to stick to their plan, but Mary's done with this shit.
I'm not living for dead people anymore, Mother. Not for your sister, my father, not even for you.
Wait,
Damn,
Lila dead? Is she a
okay.
ghost too? Ghost or not, she heads back to the Bates house and sneaks inside, where she retrieves a wig and a knife stashed under the cellar floor.
Aha!
Before she can put them to use, though, another mother ambushes her. As she screams like her sister, she gets, holy shit, stabbed straight through the mouth?
Was
Oh man,
not
I can't believe they
expecting
killed
that.
Norman Miles like this. Aw, you crazy, Psycho 2. Norman gets back to the house and confronts Mary about being Lila's daughter, but then the phone rings.
I wonder who that could be.
Roger Jackson?
Hello?
Nope, it's not him. It's someone once again claiming to be Norman's mother. And he knows full well that Mrs. Bates is dead. He saw her skelly, but
Yeah.
this is someone different.
My real mother.
At the swamp, Sheriff Hunt tells Mary she and her mom
Real mother? The hell are you talking about?
should get the
you
heck out of
adopted?
town. Because what they've been doing to Norm is super mean, no matter what he did in the past.
Only he was crazy. Now what's your excuse?
They find something
Yeah.
underwater and pull out Toomey's car in a shot mirroring the last one from the first film. Inside the trunk is his body.
Oh.
So Mary runs back to the house and tells Norman to skip town before the cops come for him. She blames herself for making him Killy again, but he says it's not her fault, it's his mother's.
Oh, Norman. You're mad, don't you know that? You're mad as a hatter.
The phone rings again, and when Norman picks it up,
Fun fact, the only reason why the term Mad as a Hatter actually came into existence is because way back when hats were made out of like a leathery material or whatever the hell, the only way they would actually be molded and formed into a hat was to be dipped into some molten mercury. But as you know, safety precautions pretty much didn't exist, go back 150 years or even more. So, people that were making hats had mercury poisoning, and they actually went mad, creating the term Mad as a Hatter, because mercury poisoning can cause insanity.
it's Dr. Raymond. He says the calls from Norman's mother all came from Lila's phone. But Norman's too far gone and only hears his mother instead, even after Raymond hangs up. Unlike in the first film, we don't hear Mother's voice at all during their conversations. It keeps these scenes ambiguous. We're just as unsure of reality as Norman is.
You can't make me
It's creepy.
kill her.
Mary runs to the cellar and digs out her Mrs. Bates cosplay. She wants to undo all the damage she's done after being caught up in her controlling mother's cycle of violence. There are a lot of parallels between Mary and Norman, and between Lila and Mrs. Bates. The mothers both experienced a tragic loss and took their pain out on their children, forcing them to do immoral things. Mary tries to break that
that's
cycle
terrible.
by telling Norman to hang up the phone, really pulling a Ginny from Friday 2 here. Before she can succeed,
Oh yeah, that is totally a Friday 2.
she's accosted from behind by Dr. Raymond in a Michael Myers kind of way. Her killer instincts cause her to stick him in the chest with a knife. He falls over the banister.
Oh, damn!
Oh, the knife is driven in
Oh.
further! Oh, man, that's gotta hurt. Norman catches up with her, fully lost in the delusion that his mother is back and killing again.
It's all right, Mother.
Norman, I'm not your mother.
Take off the wig.
Mary tries
Take
to
off the
tell him
wig.
she's not his mother, and
There
she
you go.
fights him off, slashing at his tum-tum and stabbing
Oh.
both his fake hands. Damn,
Ow.
he's taken nearly as many stabs as Chad Meeks Martin. Completely mentally broken, Norman chases Mary into the fruit cellar. She sees her mother's corpse in the coal pile, and
Oh,
assuming Norman
disgusting.
killed her, goes to stab him.
Ooh!
Instead, she's shot down by the police who have just arrived. Jeez, I didn't expect Mary to die too. This movie goes hard. At the police
Shot and kill on sight!
station,
Damn.
Sheriff Hunt blames all the murders on Lila and Mary. It's like a condensed version of the psychiatrist scene at the end of the original. He drives Norman back home so he can settle in with a nice meal of sandwiches and milk. But a knock at the door reveals Emma Spool, the older
Oh.
waitress who worked with
Oh,
him at
hey.
the diner. She's here to
Hi.
confirm Norman's suspicions and reveal the movie's final twist.
The woman you thought was your mother was my sister.
Wait, so she's Norman's mother? I can't keep doing this bit, psycho.
You can
Emma
stop
Spool
it.
says that after
It's
giving
fine.
birth to Norman, she became unraveled and had to be institutionalized for a few years. Her sister Norma Bates took Norman in and raised him as her own, never mentioning his real mom. Emma's been trying to make up for lost time by killing anyone she saw as a threat to her son. It was her, not Lila
Oh.
or Mary, behind all the murders.
After all,
I see it now.
you're all I have in this world.
Man, when it comes to killer matriarchs, Norman
I'm
hit
guessing poison tea.
the mother load. He
One
reacts
final
to
body.
the revelation with an offer.
You sure you won't have a sandwich?
Pardon?
An offer
Yep,
to kill him,
I knew
which
it.
is accomplished with a single blow
Poison tea and shovel.
to the head from a shovel. When he's done, he carries her body upstairs. Oh no, now he's got a brand new dead mom to take care of. It's the kind of thing that'll have him hearing voices again.
Only your mother truly loves you.
The movie ends with the motel
God, it's
lights switching on
terrible.
as Norman stands outside the house in a trap of his own making once again. How much of Fairvell fell victim to a momentary lapse in sanity? Let's find out and get to the numbers.
I actually wasn't even keeping
Hey,
count.
James, you invited me over for tea?
Yes, of course. For tea.
Yeah, it's a weird message to get on Slack, but...
Shovel?
all right. Oh, there it is.
Oh, no,
Okay.
tea. Okay.
Looks nice. Oh, it's actually pretty relaxing. Which reminds me, I'm gonna need some vacation
Here's the
time.
shovel.
Because with, the kid and all the live streaming I've been doing, I'm feeling a little bit...
There it is.
Buried at work.
I had a feeling. On to the numbers.
6 people died in Psycho 2, with the victims consisting of 3 men and 3 women, giving us this evenly split, totally not poisoned pie chart. We've seen this counting break down 8 times before, but weirdly, only once since 2020 with The Stepfather. With a runtime of 112 minutes, Psycho 2 had a kill on average every 18.67 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Lila Loomis. We watched this with a crowd at Zoran's a couple Halloweens ago, and this got a huge reaction.
Yeah.
It looks like something out of a Friday the 13th. I love it.
I can see why.
We'll go to Mary Loomis, because even though it took me by surprise, it's still a gun kill. And that's it. Psycho 2 came out in 1983, the same weekend as Return of the Jedi, but it still managed to hold its own at the box office. At least enough to get another sequel.
Yeah, that's
cover
good.
In 2 weeks. But until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count.
Alright, what's on the menu?
Are you bored? Morose? Missing a dad?
Shit, man, that sucks.
Looking for some fun to fill the time?
What are you doing in here all alone, Hal?
What
Or do I not want to know?
Well, do we have a product for you? It's the monkey.
Oh,
a wonderful, wacky
it's the
wind-up
monkey.
That'll be your next favorite toy.
It's not.
Now this is definitely going to be an interesting one. Because, you know, it's the monkey. Alright everyone, that's going to be the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all of you next time when we flick back on. Until then, this is Fox, signing out. Peace.